You hear that? That's the clock ticking down towards the start of the 2003 World Series.
That's right. The Game 1 matchups all set to go. The Yankees, David Wells. The Marlins, Brad Penny. Saturday night in the Bronx. We have reports now on both World Series participants, beginning with Peter Gammons and the Yankees.
Aaron Boone's shots seen around the world may have felt like the end of the World Series, but after anyone and everyone was used to win the pennant, Joe Torre now has to patch together his rotation for the Marlins. The normal starting day for Andy Pettitte and Roger Clemens will be Game 3. Mike Mussina pitched 3 innings Thursday, and David Wells faced 3 batters. He will get the nod in Game 1, given his brief appearance.
It wasn't easy to come up with since everybody has pitched in the last couple hours, but you know, we'll make that decision, and really that's the only one I'm giving you right now.
When you get a situation like this, you got to be ready for the challenge at any given time. I've been blessed with a rubber arm, and just hope that and everything else falls in. I'm out there ready to go.
The Game 2 starter will depend on who gets to the park Saturday and feels he can work on short rest.
We're putting the rest of it together on, you know, how people feel coming in tomorrow. So we're not trying to hide anything.
They're going to look at everything, look at, you know, how they think we match up against these guys. Don't know what they want to do. They've got an all right-handed hitting lineup, it seems like, and you know, they're going to be tough. I think in the past I've pitched well on short rest, you know. It's the World Series, though, so it really doesn't matter.
The carryover from the Boston series is that the Yankees have to scramble their pitching for 2 more games, survive, and then have their rotation in place when they get to Florida. At Yankee Stadium, this is Peter Gammons, ESPN.
There is precedent for what the Marlins are attempting to do in beating baseball's most storied franchise, the Yankees. Florida can look back at what the '69 Mets did, the Joe Namath-led Jets in Super Bowl III, the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team, or the 1985 Villanova basketball team. Upsets do happen in sports.
Florida Marlins, I mean, who'd have thought that we'd be here? Which is a role I think we like to be in.
Nobody gave us a chance to make it to the wild card. We did that. No one said we couldn't beat the Giants. We did that. We didn't have a chance against the Cubs with Terry Wood and Pereira. We accomplished that feat. And this is the next level.
Only 6 Marlins had ever appeared in the postseason when these playoffs began. They've been unnerved in their 2 playoff series, but this is the World Series, and this is Yankee Stadium.
Some of our younger guys, especially the Latin guys, I don't even know if they know we're in the World Series yet, so I don't think it matters to them. You know, this is another game, and they're going to go out and play hard.
That kind of no one gives us credit role. We've been playing pretty good under that phase, and I think we would have been the underdogs even if it was the Red Sox. So that's fine with us. I don't think it's going to change the style and the way we're going to play the game.
We're going to play against a good team like Yankees. You know, they've always been in the World Series pretty much every year. But if we do the things that we need to do, just go out there and have fun and play the game hard and do the little things that we've been doing all year, we're going to be okay.
Before the Marlins began their surprising playoff run, pitcher Josh Beckett said, "When you're young, you're stupid, and we might just be stupid enough to pull this thing off." If the Marlins continue their shocking ways and stun the Yankees, they would love nothing more than to be called the stupidest people in the world. In New York, Pedro Gomez, ESPN.
40-year-old David Wells will become the oldest pitcher ever to start a World Series Game 1. Wells 10-2 in his postseason career. Marlins starter Brad Penny has struggled in his inaugural postseason appearance, an ERA of 16.50. If the World Series is anything like the postseason we've had so far, it really will be a fall classic.
Yeah, let's get to it. Marlins and Yankees, Game 1. Carl Ravitch and our Baseball Tonight crew have it all from Yankee Stadium. Gentlemen.
Linda, Steve, thank you very much. Perhaps a little hungover after knocking the Red Sox out in Game 7. They take on the Marlins, and it wasn't like they weren't unprepared, but I think the Marlins, after a day of rest, seemed a little bit more fired up for this thing. And now the Yankees have been woken up, having lost Game 1. Let's show you how it all happened. Of course, the house that Ruth built, they don't know anything about Ruth, those Marlins. Many of them are too young to even understand what Monument Park's about. Not Jack McKeenan, though, the oldest manager, World Series history. Boone, the next Ruth. I mean, we went from Aaron to Ruth. And now the ball down the line. What's he doing?
Well, he's checking the lines out for bunting, and he says, I don't have to go to the left.
He went
I'll pull it to first.
The first successful bunt single off David Wells this season.
That's my job, is try to create a little havoc. And with the bunt, you know, I think they wasn't as comfortable the rest of the game. It just opens up the whole field for me, and I think I accomplished what I wanted to do tonight.
Bobby V, after that, what are they trying to do here?
They're going to hit and run, and the Yankees were prepared for it with a quick step off of Wells, but executed perfectly by Castillo.
First and third, nobody out. We bring up Pudge Rodriguez. All he's done is got 16, make it 17 RBIs in the postseason as he goes to center, and Bernie is out there. Pierre could run backwards home on a tag-up. So Pudge satisfied, so are the Marlins, who have scored for the first time at Yankee Stadium in the first inning since 1964. Meantime, buckling the knees is Brad Penny.
He showed him that breaking ball early and then went to the heat late.
He sure did. After the first, you see this play right here. After the second inning, Garcia hustling on this play, but after the second, he went to that fastball, fought that one off there, and really Brad Penny was just nails the rest of the way out.
And the Yankees got men on. Derek Jeter, he brings one in. That's Garcia. Good hustle by Garcia to get into second on that play. Jeter's now hit safely in 12 straight World Series games at Yankee Stadium. Second longest home hitting streak in World Series history. Duke Snider, a familiar name in this part of the country, was able to get it done like Jeter. Meantime, not getting it done, Nick Johnson.
Well, huge play. First thing you do as a base runner is you know Pudge is going to throw to any base, and right there caught Nick Johnson in a critical situation and got him.
Still back in fair territory. He's got to go back standing up, though, and distract that ball.
Giambi, ground into double play. Gonzalez turns it himself. Yankees can't score. A theme established. Top five, 1-1, scoring position for Pierre. Wreaking havoc, scoring runs. Matsui throw cut off. It is 3-1 Marlins, thanks to Juan Pierre.
We tell our infielders in situations when you have 50,000 people in the stands that you pretty much can't rely on hearing somebody say cut it off or relay, so you have to use your own judgment.
Boone's judgment was to cut the ball off. Bottom six, 3-1. Bernie Williams, Penny, and that is crushed. Juan Pierre's going to leap, but it's going to go about 390 feet. And check that, about 400 feet. 3-2, the 18th postseason home run for Bernie, tying in with Mantle and Reggie Jackson for first place. After a Matsui single, big bullpen move. They go to Dontrell Willis.
Well, I thought Jack McKeon did a great job of giving his guys, this guy in particular, opportunities to be successful. Great play by Gonzalez.
All right, World Series, we go to the 8th. Cabrera at third, one out. Jeff Nelson. Good job by Nelson out of the bullpen. Rivera, we know he's got a cannon. He didn't really need it here, but he almost misfired it into a run for the Marlins. Good save by Nick Johnson. Doesn't get into the dugout.
No need to run in that situation. Obviously, the throw went up the line. You don't know that when he's getting ready to catch and throw, but good call by Oz again.
And the runner on first could have tagged up and been at second base on that ball.
Nelson gets out of the inning with a fly ball to Johnson. 3-2 game in the 8th, Matsui. Boy, he has really proven to be a great hitter.
Carl, that was a great at-bat. When a 2-0 count, he tried to put the ball in the seats and then came back to 3-2 count, took it back up the middle and got the base hit.
The U-boat, Uget Urbina trying to sink the Yankees on a 2-2 pitch. He dismisses Posada. Threat again over. In the 9th, another threat. One out, 2 men on. 3-2 pitch, yay!
They kept knocking at the door, just weren't able to cash in, and Uget just got tougher when it counted.
Nick Johnson, Urbina, center field, and Juan Pierre fittingly started things off and ends things. The centerpiece of the victory, and again, I mentioned the Marlins taking a 1-0 lead in the first inning. The Yankees had fallen behind in the first inning in only one of their last 10 World Series openers at Yankee Stadium. I said 64 from 1953 to 2000. So Pierre and Castillo, certainly they get the job done. So does the bottom of that order with Conant and Encarnacion coming in. But Joe Torre recognizes the importance of keeping Juan Pierre off the bases.
When you have a guy like Juan Pierre, rounding first base, they only have the next base in mind. That's the way they've won so many games. So early in the game, you basically want to stay away from a big inning, and, that's what Booney was thinking when he cut it off. And again, I didn't ask him. But watching him play third base and knowing he knows how to play third base, that's the reason he threw to first, because he was just assuming that he was going to take a big turn.
Juan Pierre can flat out hit. And remember, this guy had 204 hits in the regular season. I think he's the most disruptive force we've seen in the World Series since Rickey Henderson. David Wells never got a chance to get into a groove, constantly was forced to have to throw to first or slide step, and then they took advantage of it. You hit and run. You don't expect to hit and run with the guy who steals bases. They executed perfectly on that ball, got a break, and then Juan Pierre comes back up with his next at bat. They change the whole defense. They bring the right side of the infield in. He grounds out, but like he said earlier, I got him right where I want him for the rest of the series. That one bunt opened up the whole game for him. Even in a situation here, he slaps the ball by Jeter, drives in 2 runs, and end up being the winning runs of the ball game. When you have that kind of ability, and then David Wells dots him, he took it, went on down to first base, and in the 9th inning, he steals a base. I mean, he put pressure on the Yankees the whole game, and when you get the opponent thinking about your presence, you're going to make a difference in the ball game, and that's what Juan Pierre did.
He certainly did. The bullpen certainly very effective. Bobby will come back a little later, talk about the work of Dontrell Willis. I don't think the Marlins intimidated by the Giants, the Cubs, or Yankee Stadium. Back to you guys.